The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Well, it's Monday, the 18th day of January 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zul. Thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. A good one to begin the week. It's the third Monday, brought to you by the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation. Today, we'll be talking about the $13 million stimulus program that's going on. So we have Joy Chelsea Hayward in the building with us. The Daily Play is a Who Said It, but we'll be doing it a bit differently today in honor of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we have a lot to discuss. This show can really go either way at times. We may plan to discuss something, and then a politician goes and says something stupid, and well, that's what happens. I mean, they go and say something crazy, and then it just changes course. And of course, last night, guess what? For once, it wasn't the politician that everyone expects it to be over in the United States. It was one of Bermuda's own. And I think, Carla, you're laughing. What are you laughing at?
Because I received screenshots and was like, have you seen this? And the person put ambulance marks. They were like, read this. And I read it and I was like, wow. Wow. Care to share, or shall I go on?
Well, I think you should share it. Tell us what you saw.
I'm just pulling it up. I'm not going to do verbatim, but basically OBA Senator Marcus Jones did a post, and to each his own, where people support people politically and what have you. And I think he just started talking about, I don't even know what today's give him 15. So I'm assuming it's something biblical. But then he just started to say how much he supported Trump. And although even some of his fellow church people were against Trump, he was praying for him. And then he ended it by signing it, Senator Marcus Jones. And it was like, I felt a part of that family and wanted you to know this family included someone from Bermuda. He's referring to President Trump. God has extended his mercy to America, Senator Marcus J. Jones. And there, I think, is where he made the biggest mistake. It's one thing to have your belief, but it's another. What's the one thing they say all the time? You do not mix what and what?
Church and state.
So this is going to be interesting. Is Mr. Simons going to force him to resign? Will he resign? Does he even feel he did anything wrong? And my answer would be no, because he signed it, Senator Marcus Jones. Maybe he got mixed up and was writing something for the Senate and made a mistake and slipped his name on the bottom of that post. I'm always trying to look for something good in something.
Well, I honestly just looked at some comments, and someone made a post about it, and he responded, and it looked like, if I remember correctly, he said it was his personal beliefs. But I think you just pointed out, if it's your personal beliefs and how you feel, then why sign it as OBA senator, right? At the end of the day, the only thing I think I agree with you that he probably done wrong was sign it as OBA senator, because when you do that, people may take it as, you know what, he's signing this on behalf of his political party, right? That's not necessarily the case, I believe here. I think that was an error that he probably should correct if he hasn't already. As far as resignation, is it something that he should resign for? Yeah, if he signed it on behalf of like Senator Marcus Jones, OBA, it probably is if it brings the party into,
Ill repute.
Yeah, that they don't want to be in. Like, I do. Should he be forced to? No, I think he should offer his resignation, and then it should be up to the leader, Cole Simons, whether or not he accepts it. Now, saying that, I just want to be very clear. I don't think that this individual is any different from a lot of other individuals, black, white, maybe whatever, that support the current president, Donald Trump. I don't think there's a difference in them. I mean, he's allowed to feel how he feels. At the end of the day, he can feel how he feels. I think the only issue that people seem to have is that this individual signed it, Senator Marcus Jones. But it's one of those things where less is more,
Maybe it's a rookie mistake. I mean, maybe he felt, okay, let me do this. Let me sign it this way because I'm always in this capacity in everything that I do, and not realize it, because people do make mistakes in that context. But you always say freedom of speech isn't always so free, is it?
Well, he mentioned that, and I'm just like, there's a difference between speech as an appointed senator and speech as a normal citizen. And so I don't think he understands the responsibility that comes with that. Rookie mistake. I mean, let's not forget, this guy was a PLP candidate in the 2012 election and then appeared as an OBA senator under former leader Craig Kennedy, and now has been reappointed to the Senate. I'm just going to put this out there. I don't know Marcus Jones. All I know is what I read from him or what is said in the Senate. And I'm not being biased based on age or discriminatory, but you can't tell me that he brings more to the table than young Dwayne Robinson. I'll just leave that right there. Robert Durham says, true about signing OBA Senator Jones out. Dr. Seaman says, LOL, don't think he was representing his party. Well, I agree. I think it was his personal statement. But if that's the case, Dr. Seaman, wouldn't you agree that he probably shouldn't have signed it, Senator Marcus Jones? Agreed, Leslie Swan, as I just said, he's no rookie. I mean, this is no excuse. I totally disagree with Carlo on that, a rookie mistake. We can't, if here's a rookie mistake, well, 5 years from now, we're still doing this. You all better give me a pass as rookie mistake. Talent TJ Clark, he probably wanted to make his point seem more valid by signing as a senator.
That's what I mean. There you go.
Yeah, I think he felt it would have more meaning, not realizing that it would probably take away and add more what's it called?
Credibility.
Yeah. He thought wrong. We'll leave it at that. He thought wrong. Mia Hartman, you're probably right. However, he comments about everything else. I think she's referring to Michael Dunkley because she said that she is waiting for Dunkley to respond. Well, on that note, since you mentioned Michael Dunkley, Mr. Michael Dunkley, former premier of Bermuda, will be on this show next week this time. So next Monday, get your questions ready. We'll have former premier Michael Dunkley on the Daily Hour, sitting down for a conversation with all of you. So looking forward to that. He is always open to engaging with the public. So looking forward to you all having a respectful conversation with the Honorable former Premier Michael Dunkley. Nikki, Michelle, Carla.
OBA can't afford to lose more members at this point. This messiness is indicative of the cluster blank that this sinking party, Nikki threw me off, that is this sinking party only exists because we need an opposition, because it only exists because we need an opposition.
Yeah. I mean, so before we move on, because we have to touch on Dr. King, would you agree? What role does Mr. Jones play in this sinking ship? Is he one of the band members on the ship as it's going down?
With that pose, yeah.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to check. Dijon Simmons says, we don't need that type of thinking in Bermuda politics, signed off officially or not. I don't disagree with Dijon, but what I'll say to that, Dijon, is Marcus Jones is it was nothing courageous about saying what he said. people can feel how they feel. But he was the only one silly enough to say what he said publicly. We just need to be honest with ourselves. There are many more like him who think what he said. So yeah, we'll keep an eye closely on this, and obviously, as I stated, former Premier Michael Dunkley will be on the show next week, so I'm sure this conversation will not be going anywhere. Kathy Brumby, why should persons be censored for political beliefs? Marcus is a pastor; he could have signed pastor. Well, I don't think they should be censored. I don't disagree. Honestly, I believe people should be able to feel how they feel. Here's the challenge, though. My only problem with people's beliefs is when they inflict harm, either emotionally, physically, mentally, on other people. If your beliefs cause harm to other individuals, then with all due respect, I can't say that word, but you know what? Your beliefs. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Dr. Seaman says, exactly, many think this way, they just don't say it. Correct. Marcus is not a pastor, his brother is. Okay.
I was gonna say that, Steve, right?
All righty. Well, did you know Betty White turned 99 years old?
She's my girl. I ate a Snickers for her yesterday just because.
Okay, excuse my ignorance. Is that the lady that was from that old lady show?
Golden Girls. She
Girl.
is a legend. She is a legend. Happy birthday, Aunt Betty.
She ageless, huh? So the other Golden Girls went on
to all going.
Okay, so she's hanging on. Okay, all right. Well, happy belated. Obviously, Dr. King's birthday was last week, observed today. Here's my question to the audience. I want to get your opinion. Obviously, we always start with your opinion. I want to read something from Dr. King, one of the most famous speeches, which I don't think was his best, but quote, I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will better sit down together at the table of brotherhood. He went on to say, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, end quote. My question to everyone today is this. Have we realized the dream of Dr. King? Oh, wow, you shaking your head no.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think that we as Black people have progressed, and even to what extent, but no, I don't think so. And people get uncomfortable when I have these conversations with them, but I don't care what people say. Skin color does matter.
Well, before we go to the audience on that question, I'm going to say I think racism is so hidden these days, is so strategically hidden that you can have the most racist person as your boss, as your director, and they can stand up with their fist up saying Black Lives Matter. So do I believe there's been progress? People will say, well, there's diversity and inclusion courses. There are diversity and inclusion positions in companies. Again, to me, I have not seen the action beyond let's appoint a Black face. It's more than having Black people in positions. I don't think that's necessarily what he meant. It has to be a cultural change. And I'm just not sure that we are there.
I saw footage real quick that like made me shed a tear this morning when those people were in the Senate chamber and the white security guard said, hey guys, can you please, a really sacred place, can you please move? And they were like, yeah, dude, we're not gonna, the guy had Miss Pelosi's thing in his hand. We're not gonna do nothing. And he said, come on, you gotta go. And I said, wow. And I retweeted it. And I said, imagine if that was Blau or even a Black bird watcher.
Right. Yeah, that whole situation last week was crazy. It exposed a lot. We let's go to the question. Have we realized the dream of Dr. King? Dr. Seaman says it's still a dream. No. Robert Durham, no. Kathy Brumby, no. Paulette Richardson, no. Esther Earl Trott, not in totality. What exactly do you mean not in totality? What has, what hasn't? Karen Edward Simmons, no. Mia Hartman says still a dream. That's a rhetorical question, right? No, again, as we know, just by Senator Marcus Jones's comment, everyone's perspective is very different. We can receive the same information, same treatment, but people will respond differently. Leslie Swan, someone tell me where's this post of Marcus was. Check his Facebook page. Charles H. Jeffers too, and James Earl Jones turned 90. Yes, I did see that. I couldn't believe. Well, okay. So if James Earl Jones is 90 and Betty White is 99, is Morgan Freeman 160? Please let me know. Maria Seaman said, Dr. Seaman says, according to January 6th, it is far from becoming a reality. Nikki Michelle, Dr. King's dream has yet to be realized. Faith, there is a guilt, still a dream. Leah Dean says, no, and unfortunately, as long as there is hate, I don't think we ever will. So we have to create those moments, one person, one organization at a time, and change as many people as we can. Robert Durham says, I think that the police officer was scared, but was doing the best, his best, because they were overwhelmed. And I think that's referring to Carla, what you said regarding the gentleman in the chamber when they broke the barrier. Linda Bell says, good morning. No, but a very slow progress. So it seems like the consensus is that the dream that Dr. King had, the dream that he shared in his most famous speech, the I Have a Dream speech, we have not realized. I just want people to even really think beyond, because at the end of the day, and I can't speak about this enough on this show in particular, that do not be fooled when they say here's a diversity and inclusion course. Do not be fooled when you start to see people who look like you in certain positions. That is not advancement. That is not advancement, because when you get Black people in those positions and they defend the very behaviors that we're fighting against, when they don't take the stand to actually go in there and change things, then no, the dream isn't being realized. I believe that people should be promoted on merit and not given opportunities, but provided the opportunities that they earn based on merit. But we've seen, just go back 1 week ago, we've seen the extra that Black people have to go through. And let's not even talk about the Black woman. So on that note, a belated birthday to the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I just want to say this, every person that's a part of this show, everyone in the audience, we have a job to do. Because if we don't do it, if we just sit back and wait on others to do it, then we'll be having this conversation for another 100 years. Carla, you ready for the news?
I am.
All right, Carla's going to give us a news break. Then we're going to be coming back. And we're talking about the $13 million stimulus program. Let's hope that we can bring both guests in. We didn't have a quality check, so we have to ensure that we can get both guests in as best as we can so that we can have a good old-fashioned morning conversation like the Daily Hour knows how.
The United Kingdom Overseas Territory Association held its annual general meeting on the 14th of January. At the meeting, UK representatives of the British Overseas Territory governments elected Ms. Kimberly Durant, UK representative of the Government of Bermuda London office, as its chairman. According to the association's constitution, the Premier of Bermuda, David Byrd, is the president of the political council. This will be the third time Bermuda has been afforded this role among overseas territory governments. A former Bermuda pastor who is to play a major role at this week's U.S. presidential inauguration said the island played a key part in shaping his career. The Reverend Sylvester Beeman, who served at St. Paul's AME Church in Hamilton about 7 years ago, will deliver the benediction at Wednesday's event. Dr. Beeman became friends with President-elect Joe Biden after he left the island and took up a new post in Wilmington, Delaware in 1993. Dr. Beeman said, "He called me up one Sunday night on my cell phone and asked, 'Are you available to pronounce the benediction?' President Biden called and asked if I was available. If I wasn't, I would have changed everything to be able to deliver." The preceding story was courtesy of the Royal Gazette. Here's an interesting one for you. Forbes.com reporting cannabis activists in Washington, D.C. are planning to offer a bag of free marijuana to those receiving the vaccine for COVID-19, the group DC Marijuana Justice announced recently. The free cannabis giveaway, dubbed Joints for Jabs, is being arranged to coincide with vaccine clinics expected to open in the nation's capital soon, DCMJ wrote in a press release. With Joints for Jabs, the DCMJ Activists hope to highlight the need for further cannabis policy reform at the national and local level while bringing awareness to the importance of equitable distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine. Once local health officials begin offering vaccines to the general public, dozens of home cannabis cultivators will celebrate the occasion by handing out free bags of marijuana outside vaccination centers. Locations and times of the Joints for Jabs giveaway will be announced after DCMJ has more information about local vaccination sites. As we all know, January 18th is MLK Day. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was created by President Reagan in 1983, at least officially. The day of his assassination has remained an important part of American culture since it occurred in 1968. On MLK Day, people gather to celebrate the work he did and people he elevated through steady, peaceful protests and activism. The struggles he fought to eliminate were still present in 1983, made evident by the fact that it took until year 2000 until it was officially recognized and practiced by every state in the Union, in spite of it being a presidentially recognized holiday. Celebrating MLK Day is best done by continuing the work of the man himself, performing acts of service in your community, to your neighbors, and to your country. Turning to weather, the high in Bermuda is expected to reach 70, while Tampa, Florida will see a high of 67, and Bristol, UK, a high of 50 degrees. It's Reggae Mondays all day on the 4100 radio. Don't miss the mix with Juggle and Jason from noon to 3 p.m. Bermuda time. That's your Daily Hour news break.
Carla, I listened intently to that news break just now. Did you say joint for jabs? Like, so if I get a what's it called, a vaccination shot, I can get a bag of weed or something?
Yeah.
It's
interesting too, it's where you think about it, because they're looking at the equity of who receives the jab. So if we see one facet of the community in DC, high, we
got to get to look, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with our special guest for the day. There's some different things happening in this world today. We'll be back.
Good day, Medical House Store speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
I found myself being a caregiver. Even though I was a nurse, I still needed help on, what was available in hospital beds and all that kind of equipment, and I knew where to go. I went to Medical House.
Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
I was very pleased with Medical House and the help they gave me when I most needed it.
Your experience with Medical House is about getting your needs met, but we also try to provide knowledge to help you through whatever you're experiencing.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door.
I would recommend them to anybody.
Call or visit Medical House today.
Go Macro started up at the beginning of the millennium in Wisconsin in the U.S. with macrobiotic farming in mind, motivated by the pursuit of health through balanced nutrition. Go Macro is a family-owned company dedicated to living and promoting a natural, whole food-based lifestyle. Like most whole food businesses, Go Macro is also dedicated to bringing you the flavors they love. This month we're featuring Go Macro Vegan Organic Granola and Coconut, Sunflower Seed Butter and Chocolate, and Coconut Almond Butter Chocolate Chip Macro Bars. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on joint for jabs. That's something. That is something. But look, let's get to the conversation with our guest. I wonder how they'll work in Bermuda. Joint for jabs. I mean, a lot of my boys love a good drink. So I mean, maybe if you gave them a little shot of Henny, I'm just saying. But anyway, we have a good conversation this morning. The professionals, the experts are here to assist us along with sharing information in conjunction with the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation and the Bermuda government's $13 million stimulus plan. Without further ado, let's bring in Robert Richardson as well as Joyce Haywood to have this conversation and share the information that you will need to understand if you were looking forward to joining these virtual platforms. Good morning. Good morning. How are you both?
Good morning. Doing well, thank you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. I'm sorry about Carla's newscast. Sometimes she slips some things in there that I just don't believe.
You seem to be very, very flabbergasted.
I am. I didn't think that was a thing, but maybe another 25 years, Bermuda might be on that level too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get into the conversation. For you, Mr. Robert, what is the Ministry of Public Works $13 million stimulus program, and what is the aim with it?
All right, so it was released on December 18th of last year, just before the Christmas break, or the holidays, I should say. And the objective is exactly what it's called. So the stimulus program, the aim of the ministry is to be able to stimulate the economy and get small to medium-sized contractors back to work, and obviously doing a various range of sizes of contracts, from small to large. And it's mainly about getting infrastructure worked on for the government and being able to, provide jobs to people.
Indeed. And just tell me, I'm not sure if this would be for you, Joyce, but what is the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation's role in all of this?
Well, BEDC is looking to offer workshop sessions, virtual sessions online, so that small and medium-sized businesses who may need a little help with the information that has to be submitted for the pre-qualification, so that we can make sure they are successful. So the workshops are going to be given all throughout this week to make sure that any questions that need to be asked can be asked. So BEDC is partnering with Ministry of Public Works to try to assist in making sure persons have the information they need to be successful.
Indeed.
Now, Mr. Richardson, why is it necessary for the government to offer a program like this right now?
Well, because of the negative impact of COVID-19 on the economy, the minister and the ministry felt that it was prudent to be able to release this program now, to be able to, provide work to people instead of, having to give financial assistance checks or, what the government calls stimulus checks in the US, what we've called benefit checks, rather than just giving those away for free. It's a trade-off now, and a bit of value for both parties in terms of infrastructure projects getting worked on for the government, and then people being able to put a little bit of money in their pocket.
Now, Ms. Hayward, if you could answer me from the BEDC perspective, and then Mr. Richardson from the government perspective, what are some of the qualifications that one must have in order to be pre-qualified for the stimulus package, and how can people sign up?
And I will just say, for BEDC's perspective, and it will defer to Robert, but we want to make sure persons have their financial information in a succinct order, in a clear way, so that when they submit the package, they can answer any questions, that the support is there, and that so that they're not just coming up with a number off the top of their head. So we want to make sure that the things that they should have are all of their pricing, their information about all of the financial pieces, as well as the organizational pieces. And so that's the part that I think BEDC is playing.
Yeah, so when it comes to, from the ministry side, in terms of what we're asking for people to be pre-qualified or be able to get qualified with government is, and everything that I'm going to basically mention here is listed in the documents that are available on the government's website, the procurement website. So a signed mandatory submittal form. So essentially it's just a form that we've asked a few company and organizational questions, and you need to provide info, a company profile that gives us background about your company, what you specialize in, the type of projects that you'll be interested in, certificate of incorporation, 3 professional reference letters, and what we call a local benefit form, where we just ask, how many Bermudians do you have with your company, your local suppliers, will you be using any or percentage of how many local suppliers you will use, so things like that we're looking for. And then obviously a unit rate sheet, with what Joyce just mentioned when it comes down to financials.
Out of curiosity, do they have to be making below a certain threshold? Because what if a larger company tries to apply? Is that okay?
So yeah, larger companies can apply, but we're specifically aiming, or this program is specifically for small to medium-sized businesses. But there will be some specialized works that obviously we will have to partner with larger firms that maybe have the larger equipment and are more experienced in certain trades, but we're sort of so I guess what we're looking to do is have smaller companies subcontract with these larger companies as well. So it's not entirely just going to be all small to medium-sized businesses, but that's what the aim is for. And in terms of the amount of revenue, I don't have that off the top of my head. I think that we're saying that if you're under about 5 million a year, you're classified as a small to medium-sized business.
Oh, wow. So when are the
don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to pull the number from the documents, but
must be nice than 5 million. But when are the virtual sessions? What can participants take away and how can they sign up?
The sessions are starting tomorrow, and you can sign up on the BEDC website, which is BEDC for Bermuda Economic Development Corporation.bm. And as soon as you get on the site, you'll see the nice blue and red banner. Not that blue and red is necessarily, anyway, we won't go into Georgia Summer, but you'll see the banner and the flyer. And the sessions start tomorrow, and there are 3 sessions regarding the general pre-qualification forms. We're going to go through the actual form. And the sessions are at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6:30 p.m. for the general pre-qualification form. And then the financial sessions that I'll be running are same days, and they're actually 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, so starting tomorrow, and they are at 5 and 7:30 p.m. And again, you can register for those on the BEDC website, bedc.bm, and you can pick the session, and if it's not full, you can register for the session that you would like to attend. So there's 3 general sessions and 2 financial sessions every day starting tomorrow for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
So if I'm a small to medium contractor, and I don't have my financials in order as such, will the BDC, I know that you said that there are these information sessions, but will the BDC offer tools to help those people to get themselves pre-qualified?
We will be giving information. So we will give them tools to help them with their pricing and to help them with information. They will have to generate that information. So if they have 5 employees or are looking to have 5 employees for the contract, we will give them the tools that they will need. They'll leave with some checklists, spreadsheets that they can fill in the information to help them to generate the information for the package, for the submission and the proposal. They don't need necessarily financial statements for the submission, but they should be looking to prepare those or have those for some historic information if they've been in business before. So the BDC is not going to provide financial statements for them, but will give them the tools to help them to generate the information they need for the package.
And if someone is unable for whatever reason to attend these sessions, where else can they get the information for the pre-qualification package as such?
So the pre-qualification package is on our website. When I say our website, www.gov.bm, and then you have to navigate to the procurement section, and then you'll see the RFSQ package there where you just download the documents. And I also encourage people to register their interest at stimulus@gov.bm. So what happens is if you know that you're going to submit a package to us, just email that email address and say, hey, I'm interested, I'll be submitting a package, and then we put your name in a database. So if there's any additional info or addenda that need to be sent out, that's the form of communication that we use.
And I'll add that there's a link right to the portal for the forms and for all this information on the BEDC site as well. So if the person can't get to it on the Gov site, if they can't navigate to get to it, go to bedc.bm, click on the stimulus package picture, and right in the middle of the page, there's a link that says go to Ministry of Works portal, and they can go there as well.
Yeah, and just sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just so that everybody has sort of a wide idea or to understanding of what we're trying to do is that we're in the first phase of the stimulus program where we're requesting contractors or inviting contractors to be qualified. So then once this period closes on February 15th, that's the new date now because an addenda has been released, The ministry will obviously conduct the general reviews on all the submissions and determine what companies have qualified and what companies aren't. It's not difficult to get qualified. So mainly if you submit everything that's needed, you will be qualified. And then we move into what we will call the tendering process, where we then go ahead and start requesting quotes for various different projects. And obviously, if you are successful in that process, you're awarded a government contract, and then the work start. And this can all happen very quickly after the 15th of February. So you just need people to be ready.
If you have any questions for Joyce Hayward or Robert Richardson, please send me, and I'll ask your questions immediately after, well, probably my last question here. So am I wrong to think that this would be, I know, and I don't want to get into the politics of it all, but it seems like this is to avoid what has been traditionally been said about family and friends. So this is a fair process that everyone applies to be a part of, and then you'll have to provide a certain amount of information that's needed, and then it'll be a decision that's made after that. That's what I'm getting from this, right? Just to make sure that there's a fair selection process for government contracts. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that is a good point. And what the government is also trying to do is extend the pool that the government selects from. So we have obviously contractors that generally work with government, and we know that a lot of people want to be able to, be awarded these contracts. But we do realize that some people don't have the expertise in doing a qualification or a tender bid, but they want to be involved. So this was a way to be able to open up and level the playing field to say, okay, here's this request for qualification. If you're interested, and hopefully we get, a ton of applicants, that now you're a part of the government's pool that we can select from in order to give work.
Indeed. Okay. It makes a lot of sense. And I think it's something that, a lot of people should be happy about, to see that the process is right out in front of us. And, it's no, oh, that's my brethren or my home girl or my cousin. And yeah, this should be something that we all appreciate. Rosalind Famous says, what kind of infrastructure projects would the companies be providing? And I think you spoke to that, but feel free.
Yeah, so I won't go into actual names of projects just yet, because that'll be on the tender forms when we submit them. But the types of work across the board and all facets of construction, in terms of building concrete stairs, foreshore protection works, masonry works. There are a few marine projects in there as well. Concrete resurfacing, industrial building, fit outs or outfits, fencing projects, landscaping, electrical, HVAC, you name it. We even have projects for what we call the professional services, that are design, engineering firms, architectural firms. So we're trying to touch it all.
Indeed. I know you said that the 5 million was not probably the exact number, but let's say whatever the number is, that's standard. Based on the criteria, is it based on U.S. or Bermuda? Rosalind Famous is asking.
Sorry, is it based on U.S. or?
She's asking the standard, whatever it is. Let's say it was 2 million. Is it based on what's considered small business in the U.S. or Bermuda? That's what I believe she's asking.
Oh, Bermuda, definitely Bermuda.
That's what I thought.
It's listed in our RFSQ document, and also I believe on the BED site what they determine what a small to medium sized business is. So apologies that I don't have that number right off the top of my head.
Okay. Another question, Rosalind, you're on a roll today. Out of curiosity, where do stimulus funds come from? Private investors?
I believe that I don't have that exactly, but that these stimulus funds are coming from earmarked funds that the ministry has said is allocated for, infrastructure works. That's all I can really say about that. In terms of it coming from private funding, do not believe so.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually an interesting question, and I thought that would come about where the funds are coming from and how would government make their money back. But I think, in fairness, and just tell me if you agree, or if I'm going somewhere I shouldn't, but I think the idea of the government not having to pay out financial packages, but rather creating opportunities for employment is the overall goal, correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. So, these projects will go along at some point during the year, and the funds are already there for it in the ministry's budget. But, the ministries realized that, okay, we need to get more people to work now. So we're going to try to get as much projects done, in the first quarter of this year as possible. And that's where the stimulus project comes in, the program comes in.
Indeed. And Ms. Joyce, just speak to us about someone who's tuned in today, right? They want to connect with the BEDC about this. What should they be prepared to engage the BEDC with? What should they be prepared for in that conversation?
If they are interested in this particular program, then it's really just let us know what information you have, what are you looking to do, what kind of business you're in. You really don't have to have anything in place to attend any of the sessions. It's just making sure you're a contractor, you're a small business, whether you've had a government contract or not before, come on board. If you want general information from the BEDC, it's good to have an idea of what you plan to do, when you plan to start, and if you're looking for financing, what you are looking to do, how much you're looking for. Some people come with just ideas, and that's fine too. So BEDC will run the gamut for you from knowing nothing about just having ideas and can help you to formulate those things. And if you are along the way and already have a business plan and things like that, they can help with that as well. There's a lot of information on the BEDC website, again, bedc.bm. There's a small business toolbox under resources that has a lot of information that can help businesses. There's a business plan. If you want to set up a business plan, if you don't have one, don't know how to set one up, there's information that can help with the persons at BEDC. There's also a form at the office on the website. So persons are working virtually and in the office, but they can provide all of that information. So I would say if you don't know, come anyway, and persons will be available to assist and help and get you on the way to get you to where you want to be.
I know you mentioned going to the site for, to get more information. Do you know, or are you in a position to say whether there will be other stimulus programs coming down the pipeline for other sectors?
I don't know that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Robert.
At this point in time, we do not know that. We need to see how successful we are in this stimulus program before we can talk about, other sectors or how we will go about that. So right now, we're concentrating on this one. It's not to say a no, but we just need to see how this one pans out first.
Absolutely. Question from Charles J. Jeffers II. This seems like a process program that should have been in place. Are there thoughts to continue to do this in the future? And I think that was pretty much what I just asked, kind of.
Oh, yes, definitely. So, I can sit here and say, yes, it probably should have been done before, but, let's just take the opportunity now to be a part of this stimulus program, because what the pre-qualification process does is able to get you in the door, so that now when we solicit or try to give contracts, it's a quicker process in terms of, now we know you're pre-qualified, we know that you have everything to work for the government. Now it's just a tender process, which can be done quicker in terms of being able to select contractors and give work. Will it continue? We hope it does.
Okay. Any final words from yourself, Robert, in terms of people who may be interested in applying for this? I know it's like a lottery to some people. Some people, well, you know what? I'm not buying a lottery ticket because I never win. But is there anything you can say to people in that respect, that's saying, look, we know you understand you have no opportunities right now. Here is one. This is why you should apply.
Yeah, and that's why we're encouraging everybody to register or submit an application for this qualification period, because we have contractors that have already worked with government and they might feel that it's not important. But I'll say to them that this is a new program, so even if you've done multiple contracts with government, you should still submit, maybe even just update your qualifications. Just send them, because if you worked for government before, it shouldn't even take you long to fill it out. So send it in, so you're in this new database, and obviously then you're eligible for contracts going forward. There are a bunch of people that probably already have the experience filling this out, and I just want to be clear in that those contractors that feel comfortable submitting their applications and their responses do not need to go to the BEDC sessions. The sessions are mainly for people that may not know, or this is the first time and they're just looking for a bit of guidance. So I think that's important to say. And to those people that think that, government always gives contracts to the same old firms, we hear it all. This is the opportunity that like I said before, we're leveling the playing field. We're trying to get as many people in as possible. The more contractors we can select from, is more work that can get done on the government side, and obviously it's more competition. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Indeed. Another question, Charles H. Jeffers asked, are there additional points given to minority and women-owned businesses?
I am not involved in the criteria or the evaluation, so I cannot speak to that.
Indeed. Got you. Honestly, it's been helpful having you guys explain this. Anything you want to say before we let you go?
If I can jump in, I just wanted to make sure I got the numbers right. The definition of small business for BEDC is any company having an annual gross sales or having annual gross revenue less than 1 million and payroll less than 500,000. So that's small. And as Robert said, medium is between 1 million and 5 million in annual gross revenues and annual payroll between 500,000 and 2.5 million. So that's big for a lot of companies. But I know you were laughing, Carla, because I when you think of a small business, like a $5 million, but so that's actually small and medium. And so that's the levels that are considered for government for BEDC.
Indeed.
Thanks for that. I wasn't entirely wrong, I guess.
No, you were absolutely right. So because it goes up to that for medium, for small and medium. So small up to million, medium up to 5 million.
I love it.
Just
Can't wait to medium problems.
Just stay at 999,999,000 so you can stick under there. I got it. Businesses. But thank you both for comment on and having this conversation and explaining this. And hopefully, people sign up and it accomplishes what we're trying to do for the community and country overall. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having us and helping us, raise awareness about it. It's all just about getting the word out there. So again, we just make the pool larger. So thank you for having me. No
problem.
And I'll just add, you can definitely go on the site. There's still availability. Please sign up for one of the sessions. And it's different for the overall session versus the financial session. So please sign up.
All righty. Thank you both, Robert Richardson and Joyce Haywood. All the best going forward.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Have a great day.
Problem.
Have a good day.
All right. Awesome conversation right there. Good information to have. And it's encouraging to see that these kinds of things are going on to stimulate the economy and get people back to work. Don't forget, every third Monday, the conversations are brought to you by the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation. We're going to take a quick break before we close it out. We're going to revisit the conversation from earlier. We'll also have the daily play. And then Carla's going to send us off for the day with some inspiration. All right. So stick with us, folks. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We've got, I promise, Carla will not get today's question wrong. I promise you that. Even though Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got it wrong once again yesterday, but that's Manchester United. You can't expect much of them.
Bermuda, do you know the difference between internet and Wi-Fi? Don't worry, neither did I. Let me break it down to you. Internet is delivered to your modem, which then has to push the Wi-Fi signal into the rest of your home. Do you find that the further you're away from your modem, the weaker your Wi-Fi signal gets? That's because Bermuda's homes are built hurricane tough. It's really difficult for that Wi-Fi signal to reach every room. But you're in luck. Our One Home Wi-Fi solution guarantees Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home with the help of our Eero devices. Plug in the Eero around your home and it will create a mesh Wi-Fi network in every room. Check us out at One today to sign up and make sure you can stream, work, and play from every corner of your home.
So my name is Denny O'Connor. I'm part of the Bermuda Travel Concession. I have a great partner named Jennifer, and we are overseeing the 3 restaurants here at the airport.
We knew we needed the support of the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation in order to help us with not only our business plan, but also financing. So financing was one of the biggest things, and we knew that we could count on BEDC because we've used them in the past and they've always come through for us.
Someone that is starting their own business, I would just say keep running. And when I mean run forward. Don't run backwards, don't run away from it.
It is instrumental to have a good support team around you. Don't take failure as a setback, take it as a setup for future opportunities and more learning and understanding and growth.
So whenever I'm doing a business venture, I'm always looking to contact BEDC because I feel that they are the support system behind my success. I'm very excited and very motivated to be working with them and learning and growing, as they are great guidance for us. I would encourage someone starting their own business to look BEDC up, for sure.
Welcome back to the big show. Thanks again. Every third Monday of the month, Bermuda Economic Development Corporation. We appreciate them. This show is brought to you by Medical Health, One Communications, and Lindos, and friends over there at Channel 82, where you can watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. So we're grateful to them. I want to go back, Carla, to earlier the conversation, and Sean Brown had actually shared a quite decent comment regarding Marcus Jones' post. I have seen other Black people post praises for Donald Trump, and there is a similarity. They are deeply religious, and they just focus on the policies, conservative Christian, he tries to push through. They see him as a vessel to push their agenda. It's like a political party you don't like, but he pushes. I'm reading from the site because it's not enough on the screen. They see him as a vessel to push their agenda. It's like a political party leader you don't like, but he pushes policies that is in line with your beliefs. The opposite is having a people/person in power you like for a superficial reason, and they push policies, and then it cuts off, Sean. So I think I get your point regarding that. Thanks again. I just want to give a big thanks to Joyce Haywood and Robert Richardson. Really, really good information shared today. So Bermudians, let's get these opportunities. No excuses. Let's get involved. I mean, from Bermuda College last week with ABER to the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation and the Ministry of Public Works, we're bringing you opportunities through the Daily Hour with the government entities that are looking out to try to create these opportunities and stimulate the economy. So hopefully we all take advantage of them. Carla, you want to do a daily play?
Yep, let's have it.
I'm concerned for you, Carla.
I knew it was something I'm okay. I was like, okay, I got the answer, but you're going to go do something complex, but I'm ready.
It's very easy. Here we go. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Who said it?
MLK said it.
You really think I would make it that easy for you today, huh?
Yes.
No. Help her out, folks. I'm gonna say the quote one more time. Help Carla figure out who is the author of this quote. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than hate. Sorry. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated.
President Barack Obama.
I mean, do you want me to? I mean, the audience is stumped. The audience is stumped.
Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton.
You know what? It's like you're in the water, right? You jump over for a swim, and then the current gets you, and you're close to land, and then the current, you just allow it to
Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama. Close to the shore. So one of Dr. Martin Luther King's children, Dr. Bernice King.
A lot of people guessing in the audience. Interesting. We've gotten some interesting answers. Mandela, we've got Gandhi, we've got JFK, and this guy talking about it is MLK.
He wouldn't tell me it was if it wasn't.
No, he thinks it is. A lot of people do. But this person spelled it wrong, but this is the answer. Coretta Scott King. Dr. King's wife. Coretta Scott King quoted, "Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated." So it's Coretta Scott King. See, I mean, it would have been too easy giving you a Dr. King one.
Too easy.
As well, wife of MLK. So yes, people, we got it. We got it. Couple of people said Nelson Mandela. Charles says Maya Angelou. See, I got you all this morning. See, I got you all. Let me get.
You're so proud of yourself.
Hey, me and my friends are having a good laugh at you all, boy. I have to make up people. I don't really have any friends. So yeah, Carla, you 0 for 1 this week.
It's all right.
You're 0 for 1 this week. But you know what? It's nothing like the comeback, being a comeback queen, and I'm sure that as this week goes on, you'll end up 1 and 4. You'll get one. What are your thoughts on today's show, Carla?
You know what? I really enjoyed that, and I hope that people take advantage. It's a great opportunity for those small businesses, but it's a great opportunity. You have nothing to lose by pre-qualifying, so go for it. And if someone who knows a contractor, encourage them, help them to get that pre-qualification work done so that they can be in the pool. Indeed. 13 million little droplets that you could have.
Yeah, little droplets. Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity. And like I said, between last week with the Bermuda College and ABER and now this week, the Bermuda government and the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, I'm just happy to see that there are opportunities being created for Bermudians. You got any motivation for us?
Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All righty. I don't want
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah.
I don't want to love him, but that's just me. We have a good lineup. Tomorrow we have Bermuda Funny Man, Nadanja Bailey in the building. So should be quite entertaining. I'm actually auditioning to be a comedian.
A comedian?
Yeah,
that's his first joke.
I'm going to be auditioning tomorrow, folks. You know how Carla tried to audition for Last Call last week? Well, I'm going to be auditioning for the Dungeon tomorrow. So I'm going to be discussing a bunch of things. I mean, I want to just put in context. We had Juggling Jason on to talk about how things have changed so much for, on the DJ scene. And when people think of DJs, they think of radio or just a nightclub. But when he spoke about like State Farm and the amount of business that local DJs would get when State Farm was to come down to the big hotel, what's it called, Fairmont Southampton, for years. Things like that have not been happening, right? It's not as easy for some people to just go online. So Nadanja, a person, not just a comedian, he also owns his own cab, right? So he's a driver. He is an entertainer. He's also a promoter. He put on a lot of shows, and the closing of the big hotel where a lot of things went on, it's probably and likely affected him. So we'll be talking about a lot of different things tomorrow with Nadanja. So really looking forward to that conversation. Not just my audition, folks. No, it's not just my audition. Any final words, Carla?
No, life can change so quickly, so take advantage of every opportunity.
Indeed. Make sure that what they say, you're living it as best you can. Let's get a roll call real quickly. Where's everyone tuned in from? Where are you tuned in from? I'll go first. I'm tuned in from Boynton Beach, Florida. Carla, where you at? Ireland?
Mm-hmm. Manchester, UK.
Oh, Manchester. Ireland, Manchester. I mean,
right up the road from your mates. They tell you hi. Pogba and all the rest of them. They said, tell our mate Jamal. We said, tally ho.
Oh, right. No. They can keep their hellos. Yeah. Don't stress me out. You ever get stressed when somebody speaks to you? Like, is it them or is it me? But yeah, that's how I feel about that Manchester United team, whatever. We've got Hamilton Parish, Bermuda. We've got Warwick, Bermuda, Porto. That's in Portugal. Merseyside, UK. So she's near Liverpool. Devin, Share. I appreciate you all wherever you are, always giving us your time of day. So thank you so much. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you. As always, we appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Carla Zool. I said Zool. Carla Zool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, make it a perfect day.